I am running to represent Faribault's 3rd District, and the facts in Faribault are absolutely clear. More people want to live in Faribault than can currently find housing. Our rental vacancy rate is 0.5%, 0.5% rental vacancy rate. A healthy and sustainable vacancy rate would be 5%. Our current market is entirely untenable and unhealthy. So let's talk about where the need is, and the question is specifically about increasing home ownership. The truth is, across this country, including in Faribault, the idea of upward mobility is becoming more and more unattainable. If you are born into poverty, if you come from an unstable home, or let's say you suffered an illness that took you out of work for a while and now you're suddenly beholden to a great deal of medical debt. Whatever your circumstances might be, if you are not currently in a position to buy a home, your opportunities for moving upward, for improving your material conditions are not likely to improve. Moving beyond the circumstances that the previous generation, so your parents, might have experienced, moving beyond what they experienced is becoming less and less likely. And change is going to be difficult. Again, this is an issue affecting the entire nation. But there are solutions that can happen locally, and we can start to address it locally. I think we can do this by changing the focus of where we generally put things in local government, and specifically on the Rice County Board of Commissioners. We need to focus our efforts on stability for the working class. We need to specifically focus our efforts and consider every decision that we make as a board through the lens of how will this affect working people? How will this benefit everyday working people in Faribault and across Rice County? By increasing stability for the working class, we can ensure that people can stay in the home that they currently have, and that they are more likely to get to a point where they can purchase a home or a townhome or a condominium. Part of that is creating more opportunities. There isn't a lot of variety for purchasing or renting right now. If you're looking for something to rent, odds are you're looking for an apartment. If you're looking to purchase, odds are you're looking for a standalone single-family home. We need more variety. Townhomes are extremely popular, and they suit a lot of people better than owning an individual home. Getting more townhomes, getting more condominiums. Perhaps if we can, with some of our apartments, having more apartments for purchase rather than apartments for rent. Now that takes a lot, but we know that local governments can advocate for specific developments. We have seen with the city of Faribault that they recognize a distinct housing shortage, so they seek out and work with developers to create more housing. I wonder whether at the county, at the city, at a partnership level, whether we can specifically look for more things like condominiums and townhomes, so then people have other options if they aren't necessarily looking for a single-family residence. We need to also ensure that when people are renting, they are renting in a place that provides them stability, that they are renting in a place that is healthy, that it is safe, and it's something that they can rely on. Every human being has the same basic needs, right? Everyone needs food, everyone needs good health, everyone needs shelter. And they need all of those things to be stable. We're talking about upward mobility, we're talking about increasing home ownership. How can we expect anyone to obtain upward mobility if they don't have stable housing? If they're not confident that they're gonna have a place to rest their head in a month, or 2 months, or a year? How can we expect them to save long term when they don't have that outlook of stability? How can we expect people to function at 100%? How can we expect them to get forward in their career if they can't afford healthy food for themselves and their family, so they don't have the proper nutrition to function at their highest capability? How can we expect people to move forward and perform as well as they can in their job or in their personal relationships if they have a health issue that has gone unaddressed? If we can do as much as we can to foster more stability, to create create an environment where those core tenets are protected, or at the very least, if we can ensure that people have as much stability in those core tenets as possible, I think that is going to be our best route toward not only increasing home ownership, but making committed community members, people who are healthy, people who feel a sense of belonging because they have a second to breathe. They just have a little bit of oxygen from paying bills and working and worrying about not only their future but their family's future. I think that's one of the most essential things that we need to address at the county level. How can we make an environment where working people, everyday people, are just as valued as many of the people currently engaged in the political process? There are very real issues facing the people of Faribault, and these issues aren't exclusive to the poorest of the poor. Many middle-class families don't have stable housing. Many middle-class families don't have health care through their work, and they can't take time off if they're sick. They can't take time off if they're injured or a family member is sick. And these people might already own a home. Or maybe people can't afford where they currently live, but they literally don't have another option because there's a 0.5 vacancy rental rate. We're giving people, quite literally, no other choice. We're causing people to stagnate. And so insofar as our county is able to pull the levers, we need to pull the levers to create stability and give more choice for the working class of Faribault. Because when we do that, when we provide stability for the working class, not only will that increase home ownership, not only will it increase the livelihoods, the enrichment of everyday lives, it'll also increase home values. It'll also increase safety in communities, because when there's stability in shelter and healthcare and food, that's correlated to decreases in crime. We get all of those benefits as a community. Again, more home ownership, increase in home values, decreases in crime. And along the way, we're also taking care of each other. We're also taking care of our neighbors. Now, that's a long ways off. That's a lot of major issues that probably can't all be done through the county alone. But if we can start by changing the conversation, if we can start by focusing on the needs of the working class, on the stability of everyday people, then that's a conversation we can start to have. And that's why stability for the working people of Faribault will be my top priority as county commissioner.
Well, if I had a magic wand, I would wave it. ADU, affordable dwelling units, I think is a good option. These are modest prefab homes, high quality homes, and I think we should encourage developers to go that route to get people into affordable housing. Right now, the supply, I mean, right now, Rice County, we have like 600 some odd available jobs, but we need to house the people to bring them to Rice County so they can work here. Affordable dwelling units are, in my opinion, a great job. I mean, a homeowner is the American dream. People take pride in that. They want to have their own home, have their own yard, have their space, a garden, flowers, whatever it may be. The American dream. And a lot of the developers now are around Faribault are $500,000 homes. And so you're outpricing, you know, a lot of the jobs that we have available in Faribault. I'm not a huge fan of all the apartment complexes, especially now we have more. but they are a fair market value apartment, which means it's the going rate for rent. They're not rent subsidized, and I think that's a very good thing. But I would sure like to see people get their own place. I think it's something most people dream of. If they're going to establish their roots here, they want to be able to have their own home.